What's up, guys? Chris over here at Cover 7. Damn, we are at the end of the year here almost, which kind of sucks if you're a college football fan like me. But it's been a really fun year, guys. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed to the channel. I can't tell you how far that goes on a very small channel like mine. Again, and I have to say this on every single video because there's always that one or two knuckle draggers that get upset when you don't pick their team to win. I do not claim to be a college football analyst, insider, or anything like that. I try to give the most unbiased opinion as I can. Bottom line, at the end of the day, guys, I'm just a college football fan. Yes, the Nebraska Cornhuskers happen to be my favorite team. Thankfully, I don't have to talk about them anymore because they're dog shit, and I get to talk about really good teams like these two here. So if you want to help the channel out, guys, I will say this. Leave a like, please. It goes a long ways. It takes 2 seconds, and it's completely free. I will say this as well before I get into this game, considering it's obviously the SEC title game. Out of all the conferences I cover, teams, whatever, the SEC fan bases to me, and I'm a Big Ten homer, are the most knowledgeable by far. So a lot of respect to you guys. Hopefully that deserves a like right there. Let's get into it, though. We got not Ohio State. Jesus, let's talk about Bama and Georgia. Georgia actually favored by 1.5, and this is early Sunday morning while I'm recording this. The over-under set to 47.5. But we'll talk about UGA here, and man, they've been really good this year. I've been really impressed. I was actually, before the season started, I knew Georgia would be a very good team because I'm a big Kirby Smart guy. I think he's a great coach, probably the best coach in college football, if not one of the top 3 or 4, in my opinion. Now, they're 11-1 on the year. Of course, the only loss is to Alabama. And if you guys remember, shit, that was months ago now, I said these two would play again. It's like, I swear it's destined that these two got to play a couple times a year. And, look, I think Georgia's been playing really good ball since that game. Now, I know if you watched the Georgia Tech game last weekend, wasn't a very impressive game, in my opinion, by Georgia, but Georgia Tech, for whatever reason, always plays Georgia super tough, or they have at least the past couple of seasons. They did win the game 16-9, I believe, but Gunnar Stockton, not his best game, but man, as far as a season and as a whole, this kid has been awesome. Over 2,500 yards on the year, 20 touchdowns, doesn't turn the ball over, just 5 picks. Now, that he actually sits 9th in the SEC in passing yards, 6th in the SEC, believe it or not, in touchdown passes. The run game, much better this season. Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, these guys are a really good 1-2 punch. Georgia actually sits 4th in the SEC in rushing yards per game. The wide receiver room, much more improved from last year as well. I really like Zachariah Branch. I mean, this kid is really good. I love when he gets a ball in his hands. He's electric. Dylan Bell, who's been there, I swear, like forever. Really good slot guy. I know the loss of Colby Young sucks because I actually liked him as a possession receiver. He was really good. Unfortunately, he's hurt for the year. So they got Landon Humphreys, some other guys that can step in, though. But this passing attack is pretty solid. As far as the ranks on the year go, Georgia sits 40th in total offense. They're middle of the pack in passing yards per game, 28th in rushing yards. They like to run the football, as I mentioned. They actually average almost 33 points per game, which is top 30th in the country. Now, the defense, it's Kirby Smart. They're always good. I mean, there's no doubt about that. They rank 13th in the country in total defense, 50th in passing yards allowed. They are 6th versus the run. It is hard to run the ball against Georgia. Ask Alabama that. Now, Georgia is only quietly giving up 16.7 points per game. That's actually 12th best in the country. So Georgia does a good job, man. It's hard to put up points on them, no doubt about it. Like I said, I think this defense has kind of come a long ways since the start of the year, in my opinion, and that's a sign of a good football team. It just is what it is there. Now, let's talk about Alabama here, a team that, man, 10-2, had a rough gauntlet of teams to play during the regular season. I know a lot of people like to point and laugh at the Florida State loss week 1. I watched that game. Look, it is what it is at this point. Those teams are totally two different teams now. And they lost to an Oklahoma team at home, which that was a really good football team. A really good football team in Oklahoma and a really good football game to watch. I think the final score was, 23-21. Came down to the wire. Alabama fell short. But man, Ty Simpson, dude, this guy is really good. Now, I know he's cooled off the last month or so, but he's put up crazy good numbers this year. He's actually 19th best in the country in passing yards. He's 14th best in touchdown passes with 25 on the year. Jam Miller, look, I know I've harped on the Bama rushing game this year because it hasn't been good. He did rush for 83 yards versus Auburn. Daniel Hill had 40, so they did run the ball in that game. Auburn, I do believe, has a pretty good defense. I've been concerned at times, as I said, about Bama's rushing attack. I know it's going to be really tough to run the ball on Georgia, but they gotta commit to the run. You can't become one dimensional in this one. The wide receiver room, not a problem here. Isaiah Horton actually had all 3 touchdowns versus Auburn. He's a stud. They don't talk about him enough. Jeremy Bernard, who I think honestly might be the second or third best receiver in the country. This guy is really good. And then Ryan Williams, I know he didn't have a catch in the Auburn game, even though he was out on the field. I don't even think he was targeted, not even one time, which is kind of weird. Not sure what's going on there. This kid has got a lot of talent, though, and I think they need to get him involved in this game against Georgia. That's just my opinion there. As far as the offense goes, Bama sits top 40th in total offense. They're 18th in the country in passing yards per game. Here's the problem. They're 101st right now in rushing yards per game. They just can't run the ball for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because of the O-line or what. Maybe Bama fans can let me know down in the comments. But, they got to have to – I don't expect Bama to run the ball for 200 yards in this game. I don't. But you're going to have to be able to run the ball somewhat. Bama, though, like Georgia, averages 33 points per game. That's top 20th in the country. As far as the defense goes, man, and they have improved a ton, in my opinion, here. They actually sit 12th best in the country in total defense, 7th versus the pass, 36th versus the run. There was a time, by the way, guys, in the middle of the year, at one point, Bama was sitting in the hundreds in rushing defense. They've improved that a ton, up to 36 now in the country. Bama only gives up 16.5 points per game. That's actually 11th best in the nation. So I want to ask this because I hear this narrative all the time from other national pundits, other YouTube channels, stuff like that they say Bama is soft. I know what they mean when they say that, but I don't think Bama is soft whatsoever. I will say the fact that they can't run the football consistently is a concern. But man, as far as the defense, Jesus, man, they've improved a ton. I actually think this defense is one of the better ones in the country. That's just my opinion from a 10,000 foot view here. But man, I think they're pretty good. As far as my prediction, guys, I don't have any skin in this game. I'm, like I said a million times, I'm just a fan of college football. I love watching 2 really good teams play. I've watched these teams play for a million years now. It seems like the first game was awesome. It was one of the better ones of the season. Ty Simpson in that game was unbelievable, in my opinion, on third down. I know UGA outscored them in the second half and pretty much outplayed Bama in the second half. Just came up a little bit short there. I get Bama's won 10 out of the last 11. I think, it's Kirby's only won 1 out of 8 or whatever the number is. I get all that. If I had to pick here, I lean Bama, but very small. I think these two teams are obviously 2 of the top 6 or 7 teams in the country. That's just my opinion. But Georgia did run the ball for over 220 yards in that game, which, they still lost that game, which is actually kind of insane to think about. But Bama's ability to convert third downs, I think, will be crucial again in this game. And I expect them to do that just enough in this one and exploit that Georgia secondary. I think Georgia secondary is a little weak. They're really young this year. But I think Bama can move the ball through the air here a little bit. And I just lean them by a field goal. Honestly, guys, this game could go either way. It wouldn't shock me. I just want a good football game. I have Alabama 27, Georgia 24, in a close one per usual. So with that being said, guys, please give this a like or a thumbs up. Better yet, comment down in the comment section. Let me know who's winning this game. I'd like to know your thoughts as well. So I need some Bama and Georgia fans on this channel. I got a ton of other ones. I appreciate all the love, though, and thank you, guys.